talking about Ivory Coast. Sebastian Haller finally got a goal for
Goal,
them.
yeah.
That goal.
A very,
That
very
keeper,
crucial goal.
if I slap that keeper,
No, the ball bounced
it
now.
bounced, yeah, but then I will still call it, I don't know, I would say, I don't know, his
And
positioning
error.
was not
I think
really good.
mistiming.
Yes, position was not really good, and he dived like Onana, very slow.
You know, it's because it was in slow motion. That is it. He dived like Onana.
Leave it. Onana does all those slow motion kind of
No,
dive.
Onana does not even dive. He takes pictures.
There.
You just stand and there. Knock, knock. Who is there? Super Eagles of Nigeria. Straight into the finals of the African Cup of Nations, 2023 in Cote d'Ivoire. Well, this is Better Sport Podcast, and you're welcome. Again, I am Ife. I'm joined with Amara Donning, the host nation caller.
Hi to Super Eagles. Knock, knock to also Ivory Coast, also because they are both in Group A, find themselves in the final, finished second, finished as the fourth best loser.
I think you have to just sympathize with them at the beginning. I don't know why you're wearing their color. Out of all the colors,
no, the two teams made the finals. Even though
we did not actually plan to wear this together.
It's just coincidence, yes. But
now you're an Ivorian.
No, I'm not.
You're an Ivorian.
I'm not Super Eagles, definitely.
So that day, you're changing your name from Amara to Amala.
No, cannot be possible.
No problem.
On that day when they cry, I don't want to be involved. Definitely, I'm repping Super Eagles of Nigeria, who has advanced, like you said, to their 80th Afcon final. Eight rather. And then they have not won.
They lost.
They lost how many? There's no Cameroon actually.
No.
Around there, so good.
If it's Cameroon now, I think a lot of Nigerians, especially the oldies, would have had memories, flashbacks coming after they cried. Imagine owning generator. They call us generator country, owning generator.
I think that time, I think power supply then should be better than
probably stable, but then going through all those stress to be able to watch the match, and down that TV was not even everywhere. You have to go
at your neighbor's
go to
place.
somebody, probably a public center. Or those people that are rich enough to afford TV, to go and watch a final. After all the stress and everything, you end up losing to your people, your neighbors.
Sad one.
I think that hurts a lot. But now we are in a more
like I said, world. This Afcon has been like a revenge for Nigeria. All the opponents we faced so far, we smash.
They don't
beat Ivory Coast already.
They don't do strong team before.
Beat Ivory Coast already. South Africa, Angola. So.
No, I think aside those three, the only ones are Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
But Guinea-Bissau too. See, they do a strong team for World Cup qualifiers.
Are they in the final?
No, we are in the final.
The two teams, they actually took points off because they beat Ivory Coast 4-0 in their own backyard.
I think that to be the
got a point from Super Eagles. And then for Ivory Coast, kudos to them. Especially the mentality these players had to put. And then the interim coach who came in after they sacked the coach. Yeah. And then he has just changed the mindset of these players. Imagine going from they had to wait till the last match after Morocco won, and then for them to confirm that they were in the next round of the competition.
I think,
and then from there on, it was a different Ivory Coast we are seeing.
It's going to be a remarkable story if they later get to win it, if they win it. But then it's also pinpointing the fact that homegrown coaches can actually do it.
Definitely. Senegal winning the last edition, yes. So
with
Cisse. Exactly.
So and even in the semi-finals, you had 4. It was the only homegrown coach.
Yes.
And he's an Ivorian too. So
former player,
not like Amunike, who is Nigerian, coached the Tanzanian national team. So it's quite different, and I'm really proud of him to have gotten to that level, getting to the final. I'm sure this is his biggest job ever.
But aside there themselves, DR Congo and also South Africa, who didn't qualify for the Afcon in the last edition, they have to probably pat themselves at the back, and they tried. They did a whole lot, pushing Nigeria down to extra time and then on penalties. Not an easy one. For DR Congo, against the home side, they pushed and puffed. They probably would have nicked a goal or two.
Well, they didn't show
if they were clinical
they didn't show enough resilience for me, because if you keep creating chances, you at one point it's going to go in. So they allowed the pressure from the Ivorians soak in, and you're playing against the home crowd every everywhere is filled up with orange jerseys, orange and white jerseys.
Yeah.
And you know, you not having that backing from the fans, number one, you are allowing, they have more players than you argue. You can't even argue that one. They have more players than you,
like quality of players.
Yeah,
exactly. You have
I think
midfield
that's
of
the word.
Sangari, Keshi,
Kese
you have
and Fofana,
Fofana,
a lot of star players,
Seri,
a lot of star players. Though,
and of
Congo
course, but also
have
Congo
star
have
players
like
too, of course.
Chasebemba, Masuaku.
I'm not removing that
Yes.
part. Yeah, but I'm saying that all these little factors would have given you more motivation to push the Ivorians till
Silence
the
the
end of the line.
fans.
Yeah, like
You know the fact that a particular team have actually flogged them 4-0
before. So
yes,
anything is
so
possible.
motivation should have been there. I'm taking back to the quarterfinals against Mali, where Ivory Coast had a man sent off in the first half. Mali had a penalty kick they missed, and those series of events, people probably say Ivory Coast are like a cat with 9 lives, and they've escaped throughout all those tournaments.
Everything.
Flashback to when
How did they beat Senegal number 1?
Portugal won the Euros with Ronaldo after qualifying as the best losers. Well, probably that won't be the case of Ivory Coast. But then kudos to the VAR and the officials in this tournament.
Yeah.
I think Pigmo have to swallow their pride at this point in time and go
It's
and beg. Swallow it and go and beg the Afcon referees to probably give them a tip or two on how to officiate a game using the VAR without making it about yourself or wrong calls here and there. I think it has been let's say a seamless, like clean slate for VAR.
Out of 100, I'll give it 95.
95.
Yeah.
It's a pass mark already.
Yeah, great. But I'm just telling you that it's not totally perfect. But even when mistakes come, you know that it's totally at the discretion of the on-field referee.
Okay.
Not even those. You are not hearing communication issues. You are not hearing
the referees are not
sideline
making it about themselves, which is something that I want to believe that the officiate referees in the European side, especially in England referees, they are either incompetent or they are just outwardly trying to make football games about themselves rather than about both opponents on the field of play. Because you always hear VAR issues week in, week out in England.
I even feel that even as because of the outcry of people recently, if you look at recent Premier League games, any kind of contact, like they don't want to hear any. This is football. It's a contact sport, man. You have to have contact. It's not any. If I hold you, if I try to stop an opponent from running, you blow a foul and yellow card. Guy, why? Before the ref put a yellow card in the Nigeria versus South African game, he had to take till the latter end of
allow the game to
minutes.
flow.
They
and
were fouls, right?
And one thing about VAR in Afcon is the fact that they don't take like 10 minutes, 5 minutes to make decisions. It's just
even the VAR checks. I think the longest had to be some matches that had to involve injury.
Yeah.
Or maybe the view was not really
different
clear.
Angles, checking different angles.
Not because. Yeah, I can hear you.
The referee, I can't hear you. Do this one. Guess what?
I'm coming. I'm coming. Check it now.
But I think the Afcon have taught us so far that it's very easy to use the VAR. It's not as complicated
as they make it.
The referees in the England side always want to make us to believe.
I think I will always give some kudos to the Spanish coaches. I mean, in La Liga, they are very cruel with their decision. They don't send anybody, even though sometimes,
like I said,
you see the biasness. But Afcon
the referees in England, they are either
100.
incompetent or they are outrightly corrupt. But for me,
corrupt.
For my business, yes, because that Nigeria match, my BP. There's like 400. My BP rose to 400. At some point, I'll probably have taken blood tonic to calm down, get BP drugs. Because as of 1-0, when we got the penalty kick and Ekong scored, coolest man alive. And his penalty is very cold. That man is a leader, a defender. And let's say, if Nigeria eventually win the Afcon, he definitely has to be, for me, arguably the man that will go with the golden ball. Yes.
I think so far, for the Super Eagles, even if you look at before the tournament, there are a lot of backroom noise about him being included or him not being included in the run of games that the Super Eagles were trying. He was
like banished from the national team.
Yeah, right.
Because
and there were a lot of speculations.
Yes.
There were a lot of speculations about because he has not really been doing well at Udinese, and There's some even I think he even left.
No, now he's at Pauk right now. Pauk FC. Good one for him. He's getting game time there, and then he was brought back. But I'm surprised that Pesero didn't use him
even
towards the friendly matches. And then, but so far, he has been the player that people call Nwabali always. Of course, you take accolades. You talk about Victor Osimhen.
What makes a goalkeeper?
Ajayi has been so good. Basi has been good. Olaina has been fantastic. But Ekong has been a captain, probably say a captain, a leader. He has shown like so far in this tournament, the dragging he dragged that guy. That was the real example of no grief for anybody.
When the guy was about to break.
Like he took dragging the first time.
If he's dragging with one hand, then he said that this guy
he pulled him down
with two hands.
That's
he never even looked at.
He knew and held the ball, and that's like he knew what he was doing. And then for him to take 2 penalties against supposed Messiah, someone who scored, who saved 4 penalties against Cape Verde. Talking about the goalkeeper from South Africa, Williams. But then for him to take 2 penalties and against him and score both of them, but definitely for Nigerian side, as a Nigerian person, because we are going through a whole lot is going through us as Nigerians. I think football is one of the things that give us joy and at least less Shegebanza. So for the Super Eagles, they didn't just make themselves proud, their families proud. They made an entire millions of Nigerians very, very proud. For all the suffering about goalkeeping headache so far we've had in a couple of years.
I think this Afcon does
since Nyama retired. Kudos to whoever scouted and insisted that we go with Stanley Nwabali, because he has been a revelation for us. At least now we can breathe a bit. Sorry, Uzoho, but then that's not the truth. We can breathe a bit that we have someone reliable, someone we can trust, manning the sticks for us.
Funnily enough, he was one that played. Was in the one in goal for the match against Portugal, where they were dropped 4-0. Bruno Fernandes scored twice.
Friendly match.
Yeah. But then I was like, when I first saw the name, I was like, who is Nwabali again? I remember when I was taking live scores at that particular, like, who is Nwabali? Who is this? He's no better than this guy. But he has shown to me that I think he is just the man. He definitely is the number one. He is the man.
And going from where he started, like he's from the MPFL side, and like we said, the match against South Africa who have bunch of players, a lot of players playing for the same side, for one club side.
Just like that, Barcelona and Spain during the 2010 World Cup, and the Confederations Cup too.
Yeah,
having like
lots of players from particular
Xavi, Busquets,
club side.
Iniesta,
Yeah, so I think that made South Africans play. They understand each other already in the field of play. It was easy to pass the ball as compared to Nigerian
look at the
players
movement.
that
The
are
movement
all playing from
the movement
different club sides.
The movement in the passing and everything. You just know that this is not new.
They've been playing with each other for a while.
Exactly, and even prior to that particular match, they started the same lineup like 4 times. So that one was even the first change in that 4 games that the coach had to make.
And that shows how the quality of the league in South Africa is. Now, compared to Nigeria, like I said, we have Nwabali coming in straight from Go Round FC before going to cheaper United in the South African league. But then for South Africans themselves, their league to have 2 goalkeepers in a very tough match, semi-final match, both playing in their league, and one of them coming out saving 2 penalties in that particular game. The only goal he have considered, aside from the first day of the match, has to be from
the first one, first game, Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah, Equatorial Guinea, the first game. That was the only goal he have considered from open play, and then the penalty considered
from Mokoena.
Mokoena.
I want to cut somebody out. I want to cut somebody out with that flick.
Considering the 90th minute, I was in my chair. I was sweating. Like, where I was sitting, I was like, what is happening now? This cannot be happening to me. I was calling Lukman. If I score this goal now, see what you have done to us. Where
I was watching it, it's in a stadium. So a lot of people, there were plenty of people.
Yeah.
The guys in front of me were blocking me, and I cannot shout. I can't complain. That guy, they block me. I just did like this. So I was bending, my back was shaking, like my name was thinking, hey, God.
But this has to
Even
be
the free
one
kick
of the
was even
toughest
keeping me
matches
on my
we played
nerves, like-
in this tournament. That game in South Africa, one of the toughest matches we played in this tournament, definitely. Because
Yeah.
and the fact that we failed to take our chances,
he's
Look,
just
man, you
he's
can't
just
do
one of
that
those
in the
matches. He's
final.
just one
You
of
can't
those
do that
matches
in the
that you
final.
just see
You
that.
get chances, you
Take
will
it. Take it.
ensure that the back of the net,
I think on my
will
status
shake.
on my status I noted that for anything to change in the second half of that match, Nigerian forwards have to take their chances.
Yeah.
Simple and short.
But in South
If you
Africa,
take your
South Africa
chances,
were just
you get it.
chilled. They wanted
They had a
penalties.
game.
They were
They had
so
a game. They had
chilled.
no. That was even during extra time.
Ah.
But they had a game plan before the extra time. During the full time, they saw that Nigerians don't have pacey defenders, pacey centre backs.
Yeah.
Per se, and they changed their approach. Started playing the ball over the defense,
And
for
then
their pacey
Nwabali was
forwards to
doing his
run.
Manuel Noah impression.
In knowing how
The fact
league
that he has
runs,
played
yes,
with them,
and he
yes.
get into that sweeper keeper mood like his idol,
Yeah.
Manuel Noah, like you said, because he said that he watches Manuel Noah before any game. So
It's like appetizer,
cut the tactics.
main dish, all of them joined together.
Because Taxan was coming out at almost every opportunity, clearing the ball, not even allowing any space for any dangerous threat.
Yes.
Because if you don't have dangerous threat, there's no how you get to consider. And even the ones that later became threats, he handled it well. There was one particular save from evidence. Evidence, they don't get
We don't
evidence.
get evidence. Say,
In the I think in the second half, that one-handed
yes,
save, it was
fantastic save, definitely.
wonderful.
But then kudos to Jose Peseiro and the coaching team for it's like they studied and ensured that probably if the game eventually goes into extra time and penalties, which it did, they had the game plan already. Imagine bringing on two players from the bench who took the first two penalties. Understand? And I think they confuse Williams. Like imagine Murphy coming on to take the first penalty and he goes straight down the middle. And then Omero has to be, I called Ekong the coldest man alive. I don't know what I called Omero. Was staring Williams right in the face, like straight up. And then he scored that goal. Casually just rolled the ball into the net.
left side.
And now Williams will probably, in his mind, like, make I dive right, I dive right, I stand. And
Where the issue-
Ekong took his penalty straight to the middle.
in the
And then
game.
in the two games, the two
Yeah.
goals he has scored so far in the tournament, his penalties were straight to the middle. So now I saw that even when he took his Ekong's penalty came up, he stood there. He
Yeah, he
didn't
stood
move,
at the middle.
thinking that Ekong would still go
Plays in
to
the
the
middle.
middle, and Ekong went the other way around. So for Jose Peseiro and his coaching side, they had
They had it
even
planned
the
out.
miss that Lionel had. He had actually lost
The goalkeeper was not even
already,
in plan,
definitely.
or he was
So
not
it was
in
more
the
of
mood to save it.
experience. Yes, he brought out his experienced players. He had the right, I call it the right
The right
tactics,
penalty takers
right
and all.
penalty takers, exactly.
I think the difference there is that a lot of speculation were about the goalkeeper and can he actually save penalty.
Imagine
And
saying
the
4
fact that-
penalties in the shootout.
Yeah,
Who are you?
You know, before this game, aside the fact that the Nigerians against South Africa, it was also Amapiano
Against Afrobeat.
and Afrobeat, and also the battle between goalkeepers and the best defense.
Yeah.
So they were bringing up clean sheet stats and
Because
save percentage.
both of them
because
have same,
yeah.
almost same.
Nwabali had already
has
considered
yes,
one goal
yeah.
before the game. He had considered two
Two
goals
goals,
before
yes.
the game. So they were like, okay, with that performance that Ronwen Williams did
Against Cape Verde.
Cape Verde, 4 penalties that let's take it penalty. There's nothing these Nigerians have not gone into a penalty shootout in a long time in Afcon history.
Yes.
So
And Nigerians are not even yet to see Nwabali in action. Then.
And the only time they had to see him again for a penalty, the opponent scored the goal. That was Mokoena
Yes.
in the same
In
game.
the same
So
game, yes.
the fear was already there. Say this
We
going
don't
to be safe
jade.
like this.
Abi, what's it jade?
I think the
We say it in Yoruba.
only prayer I was praying in that, I was not praying for Nigeria players to score.
Okay.
I was praying. I said, God help Nwabali. God help Nwabali. God help
Because
Nwabali. I had
because
confidence
the
that
thing
they
there
were
is
going
that
to
if you
score.
check the game against Cape Verde, South Africa Cape Verde, he saved 4 penalties, but then the final score was 2-1 on penalties.
Yeah, and you get to
show
wonder
you
that the South
South
Africans
African
missed.
players, they are
penalties too.
terrible when it comes to taking penalties themselves. So if you could score your own chances and keeper can save 1 or 2 shutouts, you're good to go. And that was what happened. Nigeria, Nwabali saved 2-1 from
And
evidence.
he saved one from
from
the
a person
guy who
that-
scored.
He like, you don't test me for normal time.
that
This time
Mokoena
around,
guy,
nothing
I think
for
he's
you.
actually on the. I heard rumors about him being on the radar of on some European
No,
clubs.
most clubs now. That agent phone now go they that phone
Please
go
come
they
and carry
ring
Nwabali to
now.
Chelsea.
Straight up. No, I think Man United. Onana has not been doing so well for us. We don't have number
come
one
and
now.
help
Probably to-
Amara's club.
Probably to Manchester United, but we never can tell. But then speaking about the next finalist, talking about Ivory Coast, Sebastian Haller finally got a goal for them.
Yeah.
That goal.
Very,
That
very
keeper,
crucial goal.
if I slap that keeper,
No, the ball bounced
it
now.
bounced, yeah. But then I will still call it. I don't know. I will say I don't know. His
And
positioning was not
I think
really good.
mistiming.
Yes, position was not really good, and he dived like Onana, very slow.
It's because it was in slow motion. That is it. He dived like Onana.
Onana does all those slow motion kind of.
No,
dive.
Onana does not even dive. He takes pictures. He just stand and.
But then it's going to be a fantastic final. Nigerians who are one of the loudest when it comes to in Africa, fans-wise, and
in almost everything, in almost every sector.
They are very loud and very noisy, very proud against the host nation with lots of yellow jerseys, orange jerseys all around in the stadium. And they've been a fantastic host so far. Ivory Coast have been. This Afcon has been definitely one of my best, if not the best. One of the best. For the likes of Ghana, who went home with their jollof rice, Cameroon went back home. We saw Algeria, Egypt. We even saw Senegal. Nigeria send out their Mampiano Bafanas. Yes. But then for Super Eagles soaring high and the Elephants of Ivory Coast, two of them from Group A. It's like next Afcon, people should be battling to be in Group A. So that's it, probably.
So both of you, you know that there's a chance.
And it's not by finishing first in your group.
That is a huge lesson.
First.
That's a huge lesson to learn from the Ivory Coast, because finishing last, even getting to know that you are going to qualify is a whole heartbreak for the national. Because I actually watched an interview in Super Sport, a preview of their next match, their round of 16, when they finally qualified. They were like, there was an old specialist. It was called to like give an analysis.
Yeah.
I know, and he was saying that the whole city is quite down after the loss. Everybody is just trying to go behind the coach. He's a young guy, and let's see how to get. But since then, after defeating Senegal, everywhere party.
Definitely, it has to be. This Afcon has to be CAF.
If they win it,
CAF definitely has
100.
outdone themselves around. I hope the next hosts of the Afcon.
But it's just going to be next year.
Yes.
So sad that whoever wins it.
They will not really enjoy it. Nigeria will not really enjoy it. Because I told you before, I'm going to win this Afcon. You know, to hear me.
Well, Nigeria, if they win it, it will be there's going to be their 4th Afcon title, as per.
Yeah.
But they are not African giants, because African giants are actually Egypt. It's 7 and Cameroon.
Speaking of
5.
4, Captain Ekong is now as equaled Stephen Keshi, late Stephen Keshi of blessed memories, of the highest scoring defender in Afcon history. He has 4 goals
already
in Afcon. Yes, good one for him. And I think he and Sibisero and entire Super Eagles players will pat themselves at the back, because going to this tournament,
even if they don't win it,
people didn't really tip them to probably be in the final or even eventually winning it. Even I myself, especially going by the series of results we had
prior to the
Afcon kicking off. But whichever country eventually wins this Afcon, know that they've gone through a whole lot, and they earned every bit of it, because it is.
This Afcon is just a game of rewarding who put in their most effort, not even their most.
Yeah.
Put in all the effort, because at a point you have to see that there are some times that the effort is lacking behind.
Yeah.
That's what made the Congolese to lose the way they did, and even the South Africans.
They even said that they played. Sorry, they even said that they played. They didn't play well against Cape Verde. Is it Cape Verde? No, they didn't play well against the last opponent, Cape Verde. Yes, they didn't play well against Cape Verde, but they eventually won on penalties, right? But then against Nigeria, they played better, but then they still lost.
Better.
So that's
they
how
actually
cool
relented.
Can be.
They relented in their pursuit of getting another goal, because the Nigerian defense were actually pressured.
How can you want to beat somebody that is born in the night? You know what Nwabali's name mean? Nwabali. A child born in the night, and that man was playing in the night.
So what's his money?
Eh?
What's money in?
Ego. Money is ego.
So why? No, not money.
Nwa is
morning.
morning, ututu. But Nwabali
So
is
one
a child
ututu.
born in the night, and they
One
play that
ututu.
match in the night. You now want to come and win? You say now reason them now. But then straight to the final. Probably before the final, we're going to see the third place.
South Africa
yes,
against
South Africa
DR
against
Congo.
DR Congo. Who are you tipping to probably nick that one?
Well, I think there's no particular favorite about this, but
People don't really talk about because
no, but
the
they
tournament is about just one country,
But
24
still,
teams, and just one trophy actually to lift it.
Nigeria won a bronze not quite long
Under
Ghana Cross, and it was still something worth
Boast
cheering
about,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, because even the way they lost, you could have just pinpointed that this could have been us in the final and all those kind of stuff. So, but South African and Congo is just one that you feel like the Congolese have done enough to actually get their hand on something, even if it's a bronze medal. And you also feel South Africa too. No, yeah, and you also feel like South Africa too has done King enough for Eagle Bruce to take them to this.
Eagle Bruce.
He was supposed to become another make a record, set a record to join in Javier Hernandez as one of the coaches to have won the Afcon with two different countries. Two different countries, yes. Funny coaches in context, yeah. But then, what's it called?
South Africa themselves.
Yeah, South Africa. Yeah. South Africa have to look back and try to, tell Nigerians that
we'll leave there with something.
Yeah, we are not going empty-handed.
I'm not going empty-handed, but DR Congo themselves also are a very tricky side, and they've scored. They also score lots of goals. They can actually add more salt to injury to the South African sides. And then, funny enough, 24 years ago, this same thing happened. History repeated itself with Nigeria defeating South Africa. Same Afcon. I don't think it's a rivalry. But Nigeria, South Africa is not. They always beat them.
It's not really a rivalry. It's not a rivalry. Out of 15 matches, Nigeria won 8. So
they always beat them. Like
the rivalry there about?
How am I in Nigeria?
The rivalry is there's no rivalry there. There's no rivalry there. It was just, is it the year that they will finally show that they can do it again? Is it the year that they are going to show that we are a much better side? So who are you tipping?
Just DR Congo, South Africa for third place. Who gets it for you?
South Africa. I miss my bad belly.
Nah, I think I'm going with DR Congo actually.
Fine. Anybody that wins it actually.
Wisa, he has a goal in that match. Or Masuaku, probably that's shots that he does actually once in a while. But then for the final, the big one on Sunday, the biggest event so far in African football this year. Nigeria, South Africa. A whole lot.
Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire.
Sorry, Nigeria.
Why you
who
like,
dash Bafana?
Nah, bad belly they do you.
Nah.
Nah, bad belly they
Nigeria,
do you.
Ivory Coast, actually. Now, a whole lot because these two sides have faced each other already in the tournament. Nigeria defeating them 1-0 to nothing in the second game.
Yeah, in the group stage.
Now, Nigeria, the last time Nigeria won the Afcon in 2013, they actually played their opponent in the final, Burkina Faso. In the first match of the Afcon, they played 1-1. And they eventually ended up winning Burkina Faso again. Rather, they did the first time and they won the second time 1-0 in the final. Goal coming from Sunday in Ba. And people say Victor Osimhen hasn't really scored much, just one goal, but then he has had a hand in almost all the goals scored in the Afcon so far for Nigeria. So do you think that's a day where Osimhen finally nicks a goal because he has had bad luck or ill luck? Goals he scored have been cancelled. Close to 3 goals so far that he scored and they've been cancelled.
2 goals or so.
Yeah, so do you think that's a game where Osimhen will probably I know go green for this next?
It's definitely good to get a goal, but I don't know how or when. But you just see that even if he does not get the goal, because after the match against South Africa, he was interviewed and he was like, he does not really care about the goals, but the fact that the team actually qualified, but still, as being one of the hottest property,
as the CAF footballer of the year,
hottest property in Africa at the moment, you have to at least get. Though it's not like you've not played your part, but you have played your part and
you want to get the goals as a striker.
Get the goals.
But Nigeria are the most decorated nation in Afcon history. They've won 15 medals in total.
Yeah, talking about medals,
3 gold, 4 silver, and 8 bronze. Would they be
Emphasis
adding,
on the bros.
yeah, would they be adding, well, no bronze for them this time around. So it's
Yeah,
either gold or
or
silver.
silver.
So it's either they end up equaling 4 and
With Ghana.
4 gold and 4 silver, or they add 1 more silver to their collection. So who gets it? What needs to change? Will Pesero go with the same tactics he used against Ivory Coast in the first match when they played in the group stage, or will you see 1 or 2 changes? Because we saw Sanusi out for the game against South Africa, and then Osayi Samuel coming in for him. So you think Sanusi will be coming back, or will you think, what exactly do you think will happen?
Well, personally, I feel whatever works for you, Pesero.
Yeah.
Since you notice that there's something that needs to be changed, and he changed it, and the fact that the goal that you considered was not because of a defensive error from the defenders that included.
It was a mistimed tackle from the DM or the midfielder.
So the back line can be the same if you decide to change anybody. I think it's going to be like for like.
Yeah.
And the midfield too. I think something needs to be done.
But for Ivory Coast themselves now, and because the coach Fair wasn't the coach of the side when they lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So what's the new thing that you think that he will bring?
There's a new
to spring up surprise against those.
There's actually a new pumping of blood into the Ivory Coast since MSFI
took
joined
over.
Because you can see them playing for our guy. He's a local lad, like all of them, man. He grew up from the streets, grew up with everybody, so he knows how
his celebrations are always like that of Ateta, very jumping up and down kind of celebrations, and he's very funny.
He knows how it means for his nation to take his nation to the final.
Funny thing is
and
that
the players too are doing so much.
Funny thing is that behind his back, while he was still trying to move him,
let's talk about that incident.
Yeah, they were trying to bring in Renard in to come and take over, but then if Renard had probably taken over as Ivory Coast coach, they might have not gotten to the final.
They might have not gotten to this stage.
Yeah.
And they might have to. You can't just predict because it never happened. But this is the one that happened, and we are seeing it in our
Koro eyes. Well,
they are in the final, and they are going to play for him.
We have seen some changes already he has made because in the group stages we didn't see Sebastian Halle play much. Adingra of Brighton wasn't even involved,
and even Kessie too was not really involved.
Kessie was involved, but then when he came on,
Kessie wasn't starting.
Siri in place of Kessie. So now, do you think he's going to
in place of Sangare?
No, in the third match against Senegal, I think he dropped Kessie, brought in Siri. Yes. Then, do you think that he's going to make like a changes? Definitely might see Adingra in Max Gradel, who also probably won the Afcon with Yaya Toure when he 2015, and then Sebastian Halle with his height, and definitely you want to think he will worry Ekong with area balls, and also the midfield, because I said the midfield of Sangare, Kessie, and Fofana should take you to the final. We're thinking that they probably left the group stage, but then they are in the final with a fantastic midfield. So Nigeria, the last time Nigeria scored that goal, we have to bypass that midfield because they don't have fantastic finishers. Talking about Ivory Coast side, and Nigeria possess.
Funny enough, Halle was not even in that.
He wasn't in the setup then, but then he has just 1 goal so far. Likewise, Victor Osimhen. But then, do you think for Nigerians, like, just ensure that you don't concede because their defense is not like they're not as strong as it is. But difference from then and now is that I think they play more as a team now than in the group stage.
Yeah.
Now because they defend as a unit and they attack as a unit, and that's the same thing the coach said, emulating from Super Eagles when he took over. He said, "You watch them, they attack as a unit and defend as a unit. You see, when they lose the ball, Victor Osimhen, who's an attacker, is going back, just back, to press and then win the ball back. So it's going to be a fantastic final. Probably tactics here and there. Jose Pesero, aka the Nigerian version or Nigerian version of Jose Mourinho, will his tactics make his team come out top on that day, or do you think that the local lad, former football about fair, will progress with Ivory Coast? Who are you tipping? Aside being a Nigerian or in front of Nigeria, who do you think actually can win this one?
Oh, I think it's going to be played in 90 minutes.
Plus extra time.
Yeah.
And penalties.
If it's a game of 90 minutes, anything can happen on the pitch.
Yeah.
Now, I'm someone that is in love with tactics and love with how you play on the pitch and how a coach can maximize his substitutions and make the right decision. So I think his substitutions in that game are going to make much sense and would need to have to make much sense
Yeah.
if anybody is going
Speaking
to
of
win that
who?
game.
Nigeria or
Nigeria or
both
sides. Yeah,
both
I'm
sides.
I'm not picking any side
Okay.
at this point because I initially before during the preview I spoke about Ivory Coast chances of probably winning it, and the group stage exit and it was a shocker. It looked like it was a shocker for me and a lot of things. So I'm still tipping them to win it, but peradventure it's a game of 90 minutes. Anything happens because Nigeria have defeated them again. They also have that mental edge that they can do it again. And the team for Nigeria is let's do it again. So are they going to do it again against the host?
Do it again.
Don't
Well,
know.
for me,
What about you?
I think Nigeria we've sized them, and I don't think we are going to say, oh, we've beaten them before, and then we can as well just relax and we'll do it again. They are the host nation. They have aside you playing 11 players, and
They have the 12 man.
officiating has been fair. They are the 12 man off the fans, that crowd, because that day is going to be louder than it has ever been throughout this tournament for Ivory Coast. The legends will be there. A whole
Everyone.
lot.
I mean,
Yeah,
throughout the
Toure,
streets. I will even
Drogba.
I pray for the safety of the Nigerians.
No,
Peradventure
both
they
sides,
win.
because both sides are very loud. Even though Nigeria fans are not as much as Ivory Coast side, the fans are very, 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 very loud. Very loud. I'm very proud because everywhere within Nigeria, you must hear our voice. Do you understand? So I think even Nigeria supporters will try to probably outshine or outshout.
It's not just going
the
to be
Ivory
a
Coast
tactical
fan.
battle. It's going
Yes.
to be a fan battle too because
Definitely, because both
a lot
sides will
of
want to
noise here
the
and
noise have to
And
ginger your club, your
ginger
players.
there.
Exactly.
Even when Osimhen no score, they are shouting Osimhen.
He's the CAF player of the African player
Well,
of the year.
just roll
You don't
with
have
it.
any choice to
Nigeria need to
ginger the
roll
man.
with it. They need to roll
But
with
then,
it.
if there's a country that you always want to think, because Ivory Coast already collected 4 from Guinea, and they know how the boos were coming from the crowd, they will want to, from the get-go, want to get things
On the
right
front
in that
foot.
match. Yes. And then, but Nigeria have to ensure that every chances they get in that match, they do score. So that doesn't come and bite you, because Ivory Coast, it's like once it
They
enters
have
the
great
late
players.
20 minutes into the game, or like
The pressure
final
is
10 minutes into the
pressure
game,
in my high.
they go into like get 10 or get 20, and they
With the fans.
rush the opponents.
But there's one thing about the Ivorians. They are not will I say, what is it called this thing? They are not safe from mistakes.
Yeah.
They make mistakes too. And everyone can make mistakes.
Football,
Yeah.
you cannot be perfect in the
So-
entire 90 minutes of a game. You must definitely give, because goals, yes, even though that's people well-worked goals, one player or one defender or one person wasn't doing their job for you to be able to score a goal in football. So definitely there will be mistakes, but just pray that your opponents
You take your own chances.
your opponents don't take those mistakes you make and punish you, and then you take the ones the opponents make and then punish them. That's it. I don't think we'll see much goals in this final.
Oh,
It'll
might be
a very
surprised.
tight one.
France and Croatia.
A very tight one. No. I've never seen that one. I've never seen that in African football. We are not seeing that
Are
kind
you
of
sure?
football. Nah.
I
If
dropped my
anybody
prediction.
should win right now, it
I
probably
dropped
be
my
a close
prediction.
one. 2-1, 1-0,
Yeah,
2-0.
you said it.
2-1,
That's my
1-0,
own prediction.
2-0.
Is it's
And
going to
of
be
course, I'm siding
France and
Super
Russia
Eagles of Nigeria.
final.
Definitely.
France and Croatia final.
Flying the flag, green, white,
But I want
green.
in orange.
Leave this
I think
orange.
we
sha.
probably need to
Yeah.
swap there.
For
because
me,
I'm not really feeling this for
Finally,
Super
before
Eagles.
we jump back from this place, rate this tournament, Afcon Ivory Coast 2023, on a scale of 0 to 5.
Gang. It has to be 1 to 5.
0 to 5.
0 to 5.
Yeah.
5.
5.
Definitely.
As 100 over 100.
Senegal, Algeria, Tunisia,
It's not about just
Egypt,
the players
Ghana,
that are the countries that are out.
Cameroon. Make
For me-
animation.
For
All
me,
of them
okay,
out.
Well, I would say aside the upset and I won't say upset per se, because all four
The
that went
underdogs.
to the semi-finals are all previous winners.
Yeah,
Yes.
fine.
But then the favorites, people's favorites in quotes, didn't make it so far to the tournament.
One of the favorites
They
that
are
hasn't
out.
made it.
Well,
Ivory Coast
yeah,
they
Ivory
made
Coast,
it.
they try. But then, aside that, VAR, the use of VAR here has been fantastic. VAR use, the turnout, the goals scored, fantastic goals so far. We've not really seen, normally we always see Afcon always one or two.
Just one scrappy goal and all.
Not scrappy goal. I mean, I'm not about the players' behavior, discipline-wise. We've been, I think, aside the Mali incidents where they were quite angry at the referee and was going to his faces.
Yeah.
Then I think every other club side, country,
I think it has to do with the the funding.
Sportsmanship have been fantastic.
Aside sportsmanship, the funding from CAF, before the tournament to those teams, because I remember one of the Congolese technicians,
FIFA actually.
One of the Congolese before technicians rather was talking about how those funds helped the team, to train on good grasses before the tournament, and it has helped improve their play on the pitch. So I think going forward in any other Afcon edition, for us to have this kind of entertaining tournament.
I have to give kudos to the CAF president.
We need to get
and his
Patrick
crew.
Motsepe.
They tried
I think he's in South
a
Africa.
whole lot. He is, and in front of him, they boot
I saw they look
out of the
I didn't look
tournament.
say the man not even the emotionless.
No, you have to be neutral because you are the
They tried.
No, organization-wise, they've been so good. The next hosts have to outdo Ivory Coast, or at least give us this same level
You must score more
of
than
performance.
they scored a lot of goals.
Yeah,
They've
and for
broken the goal record
Germany, who are hosting Euros this year, we are
Beat
looking at you
Afcon.
guys and
Beat
your
this Afcon.
officials. The fan owner. I think before we go, parting gift to all England referees. I told you, go and sit down and watch this Afcon. Learn how to officiate.
Well,
it's not about you. It's about the players and
Or
the game.
drop in your comments and let's see who you think would win the African Cup of Nations. See you in the next episode after the final.
Au revoir.
Bye.